has bees. I was going to show you today how I set up my swarm traps. Now this was a dead out hive. It ain't going to be in a tree. It's in the bee yard. It's got a super shallow super underneath it. I like to have a little bit of space below my frames. I just think it works better. So one thing I like to do, if it's a new trap especially with no propolis or nothing, is take some beeswax. Just rub it all over the inside. Anything to get some bee smell. Same thing with your frames. Scrub some of your frames, top, bottom, do them all that way. And propolis. Propolis is probably better than anything. Scrub your boxes, frame rest, your frames, especially on a new box. This is about the best thing you can do. Of course, a new beekeeper probably ain't gonna have that, but you can buy beeswax and use beeswax, and I'm pretty confident you're not gonna get disease just scrubbing the inside of a box with beeswax. Never had it happen. Did it numerous times. And foundationless frames. I firmly believe when bees go inside and they measure this box, they should be able to fly through this and measure. And it still gives them something to build on. So if it's a few days before you get back, at least they have comb that's not going to be wasted or put in frames like this. Yeah, it works, but it's a nightmare. Another thing, your old frames with propolis. See all that? This frame's disgusting. It's perfect for a swarm trap. It smells like bees. Bees know someone's lived in it before. So it's just another way to draw them. Make them feel right at home. Old frames, as long as they don't have pollen or honey, you don't want none of that. This is just some old, didn't get drawn out all the way, but it's got some beeswax. It don't matter that it's messed up. We're just going for the smell. Something to give them the idea that bees have been there before. Same way with this. Personally, I can't stand foundationless frames. That's just me, to each their own. But they're perfect for swarm traps. And that's what I use them for. This one don't have no fishing line. That's another thing. Really need fishing line in here. I would say at least 30-pound test. Because if you use this little stuff, they'll just chew through it. And then you'll be just like this eventually. And another thing, I ain't so sure that crossing it ain't better than coming back and forth. That's just me. But I do firmly believe you should have foundationless frames in your traps. I know people put foundation in or cones all the way and they have success. But I think you have better luck if they can measure, if they can fly. Another thing, instead of taking your old frames that got wax moth damage or a little bit of mold on them, you can smell the mold. It's not just plumb disgusting. When a swarm moves in, they'll clean all this up and repair it. So it's one way, if they're not just annihilated, to get frames like this fixed. Now this one's pretty dark and old, needs changed out. It's only really good for swarm traps. They probably won't brood in it. I mean, a swarm might. If you put in an established hive, they probably store nectar in it. But they probably wouldn't brood in it. And a lot of times, you need to give them something. You need to give them a guide also. So a drawed out frame beside this one is ideal. That way they have something to, as a guide to draw to. If not, if you just put all foundationless frames in, now even though these got guides on some of them, they might draw this way across it, or attach it, or draw two combs even. They do some funky stuff. So with just foundation, they might draw it out a little deeper, but it still gives them something. So that's what I like to do. But the propolis and the wax really helps the new box. Another thing I do is I mix in 93% alcohol with propolis. Drop it in there, I let it melt. What don't melt, take the top off, microwave it for about 30 seconds, shake it up, do it again. It'll get so hot you can't hold on to it, but it'll finish melting the propolis. When you spray it, it gives the propolis smell, the alcohol evaporates. Well, so my sprayer ain't working even though I primed it. Anyway, you get the idea. Perfect for new boxes. Good way to stretch out your propolis if you don't have much. Another thing, this little bottle is alcohol with about 30, at least, maybe 40 mated queens. Am I going to use it? No. Why not? Because it's another fallacy spread on YouTube. I've literally set this down beside bees. I could do it here in a second to show you. They will not pay not one bit of attention to it. That tells me there's no queen pheromone, at least not concentrated enough to help. Last year, I set this down and a bottle of lemongrass oil with the sprayers out. I was putting bees in little mini nooks, and I just happened to set it on the lawnmower to go in for a second. And I come back out, there was bees all over the lemongrass oil and none on this. This is full of queens, mated queens. So, I use swarm lure. I know people catch bees on lemongrass. I've had them check trap. I've witnessed it probably 50 times. I've never caught a swarm on lemongrass. I know people do it every year and been doing it since the beginning of time practically. But I've literally had swarms get in the trees, walnut trees, where you couldn't throw a rope over and shake the branches. They was too big. Or shoot them out with a shotgun, break the limb. And sprayed this in a box, hung it in a tree, and 40 minutes later, they'd moved into it. I'm sold on Swarm Commander. It's expensive, depending on where you buy it. 32 plus shipping, up to 40 bucks. One swarm's gonna pay for it. You can catch numerous swarms on it. So that's what I do. I spray a couple sprays in the entrance. Maybe some on top of the frames. And definitely, now this is just a lazy place to put these mini frames, but bees seem to like bigger spaces than not. So it smells like bees. Some of them got starter strips, a little bit of comb, nothing special, just somewhere to put it. Feed sack full of old propolis. If I didn't have that, I'd just spray the lid. I put about 3 sprays on it. And that's it. I know some people probably think it's a waste to do it that way, but I've tried the cotton swabs a million times. I've tried putting them in plastic bags. I've melted it in wax, put it on the frames. Me personally, maybe it's a little wasteful, but I think it works better. Just spray the front, spray inside the hive maybe once, spray your lid about 3 times always. I have really good luck with that. I got one in the tree, I got scout bees on. Hopefully we catch them and I'll show you my trap. This is a dead out, I'm just using it for a swarm trap. Normally my regular swarm traps are laying style traps. I used to use Nooks and they work, but usually catch smaller swarms or cast swarms or the after swarms, not the primary swarms, the big ones. The land traps, they seem to catch the primary swarms. Last year I caught one, I bet it had to have been close to 9 pounds. It was huge. Anyway, that's how I roll. Thought I'd share with y'all. Figure that it's that time of year. Y'all have a good day. John at Bass Bees. See you on the next one.